Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Julie and we're here to do the pick a card for the week, which is about what your message is for the week ahead. So quite simple really. So if you just want to choose your group, so you can choose by crystal. We've got this beautiful lapis lazuli here, great for communication. And then we've got this, it's such a difficult name for me to say. I'll have to put it in the description box, I think, but just choose based on the energy that you feel from it. I always have trouble saying it, so I won't try and embarrass myself. And then we've got this beautiful Amazonite for group 3. And so if you just want to choose based on the crystals there, or otherwise via the card, and then just click on the description box below your group, and then you'll be able to watch your reading there. All right, I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. So let's see what your message for the week ahead is. So you've got compassion, you are loved unconditionally. Oh, it's so funny, I've never seen this one come out before, and it just reminds me of Kuan Yin, or yeah, wow, such a beautiful message. And I love these cards because they're quite clear. They're called Goddess Love cards, and it's just really, your message is to be compassionate with yourself and to know that you are loved just as you are. You don't need to do anything, you don't need to change anything. Just be yourself fully. And we create a lot of pain in our lives because we don't believe we're enough, and as a result we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and other people, whereas if we were just to love ourselves just as we are, and we all have flaws or faults or whatever, imperfections, but that's part of the human experience. And the idea is to embrace those things that we might not actually always like about ourselves, as those shadow aspects. And often our shadows, and what I mean by that is those parts of ourselves that we don't really acknowledge. So for example, if you're seeing outside something outside of yourself, and you see people being jealous, for example, but then you yourself say, well, I never feel jealous, that's not a part of my nature, then you deny a part of yourself. And it just means that you're not fully encompassing who you are. And we experience all the emotions, and we are everything that is as well. We create separation when we say, we're not that, they're horrible, they're da 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 da. And really the person that suffers the most when that happens is ourselves. And so the message is really about being kind and compassionate to yourself. Look at her being just peaceful, and I just love the lotus flowers, and it's almost, and also being in almost like Japan or something. But just be kind to yourself. And it can be hard because we're used to, I remember going through that process, and it's still a refinement process all the time, but initially to learn to love yourself seemed so bizarre. But as you start on that journey, it'll become easier, and I'm sure a lot of you already are on that journey. So it's just a refinement process as you become aware of, maybe I'm not really looking after myself right now. What can I do instead? Or how can I speak more kindly to myself? All those things, will really make a difference for you, not only this week, but in general. So let's see what the tarot cards have to say. So what's the message? Oops, that's the message. Let's get that for group 1. Oh gosh, sorry about this. Message for group 1. Okay. So I actually feel this one wants to go there first. And so at the bottom of the deck we've got the World card, and so the World card is about, actually the world is at your feet. It has two meanings. You can have everything that you want, you can have the world. So encompass that energy. What is it that you really want? And it's not something that we've been told as young children, that we can have everything. It's almost like, well, no, you can only have this much, and you can only. But actually, if we tune into ourselves, our heart space, we can have all of that, because when it comes from our heart, then it comes from an authentic and aligned space of love, which is who we are, and what it's our birthright as well. So that's yes, if that resonates with you, then that's your message. And then the other message is also about coming to the end of a cycle, and perhaps there's something in your life that is coming to an end, or it's almost like you can feel the things coming to an end. Then it means that you've got new beginnings coming your way, and it's almost like if you are seeing an ending in your life, then send it blessings and love. And if there's still some energies attached to it that feel uncomfortable, then do some work on that, because when you can send healing to that those old emotions, and it really allows you to create from a really different space, and you can bring in what you really want. And that's what I found in my own life. When I was able to say goodbye to something in a loving way, then it allowed me to really create new things that were even better than I could have imagined. So I'm just going to move this so that you can hopefully still see the card there. And then the first card that came out was the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is about, it can be about our dreams, it can also be about illusions and things like that. So just be aware of, it's almost like I'm getting drawn back to the compassion card, being eluded by your own thoughts about yourself and your life. And so just be aware of what you're telling yourself, and is it real what you're telling yourself? Is it kind? Is it loving, what you're saying to yourself? And if you're having to make a decision, really tune into your heart space to do that, because it's almost like you have all these options available to you, and maybe a new path is opening up because you've just ended a cycle in your life. And so what you're seeing, and especially with Mercury being retrograde at the moment, sometimes things aren't what they seem, and so it's really important to do the work to, depending on your personality, you might want to do more reading, or you might want to tune more into your heart and see what's happening there. But I always recommend tuning into your heart space. Funnily enough, I see a skeleton there, which I've never seen before, which is rather interesting. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that. Yeah, so something that may look great may not be that great, and so just tune into what you're feeling, because your intuitive self will tell you, and that's something you can definitely trust. And then you've got the Lovers, which I think tunes in which goes really well with the compassion card, because it is about, there's many different levels. There's firstly being, the masculine and feminine, balancing that within yourself, because we all have the masculine and feminine energy. And when we do that, we create this balance within ourselves and this wholeness within. And when we do that, we become magnetic to all things. If it's a beautiful relationship you're after, then that's what happens. Or if you want to strengthen your own relationship or friendships and everything, then that, all of that becomes really possible. But it's when we're not whole, when we're not loving to ourselves and not balancing ourselves, and we create these, or attract these situations in which show us where work needs to be done. And so it's really important at the moment to do the work, to really understand where it is that life feels challenging for you, and understanding and doing the work as to discover why, because once you start to heal those, then you really create a lot of beauty and love in your life. So yeah, that's great. And then you've got the Star card, and this is a wish coming true, and it's almost like, be aware of any illusions, be aware of what you're telling yourself that isn't compassionate and loving to yourself, and build that that balance within yourself, this wholeness of masculine and feminine, of knowing that you are a spiritual divine being, and then the world is at your feet. You can wish, all your wishes can come true, because that's what the Star card represents. It's like a wish coming true. So I think that's really beautiful. That's a really lovely message. And I'm just going to pull some starseed cards out because I love them. So let's just see what your message is. This card wants to come out. So channel, you are a channel through which healing energy reaches the world. And I think that's really beautiful. So whether you know it or not, the energy that you project, or that you have with it's almost like your energy has an effect on others. And so when you're compassionate and loving to yourself unconditionally, this will impact all the others around you. So it's almost like your gift is to the world. If you're wondering what my role is to do that, to be a channel of love, and this will be everything that the world needs right now. So that's really beautiful. I'll just leave that there. So thanks for watching, Group 1. I hope that resonates with you and helps you in the week ahead, and I shall see you at another reading. Bye. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. So let's see what your message for the week is. I'm using the Goddess Love Oracle cards. And so you've got, love your body, let your beauty radiate out. Oh, that's beautiful. I really love the images here. Yeah, so this is, pretty clear message about loving yourself and loving, your body as well. And what I'm hearing is that, if you've not been feeling well, or you feel like your body is working against you, when we get sick or when we get ill, we often, blame ourselves, or say, oh, we don't see it, that actually it's just a way that our soul or our spirit is trying to communicate with us that something is out of balance within us. And so, if you haven't already, please read Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, because it has a lot of information about the connection between our thoughts and the illness that we experience. And at the back there's a really handy table which you'll be able to link up with any illness. I think she's listed most of the illnesses, or things like that. So cancer and all those type of things. There's a link to a mental thought or a belief, and I found it so helpful and useful. And so the message here is, when you're feeling some, I feel like there's different levels. Firstly, love your body in general. If you're looking at your body and saying, oh, I'm not slim enough, or I don't like this part, it's actually being quite critical to yourself. And you imagine a baby, and we would never say that to a baby, oh, you're not whatever. They're just beautiful beings. And so it's the same, like we need to start treating ourselves in the same way. The message for you is to love your body just as it is, and send it send all parts of it, your head and all that, your limbs, but also the parts which you think, oh gosh, I'm not so sure about that, then send love to that as well, because that will really, it's a message of loving unconditionally everything that you are. And when you can love the parts that even seem not acceptable by social standards, it sends a message that actually you don't need to fit in with that model of what you've been told. You can just be yourself and love yourself and be authentic just as you are. And then the other message, what I mentioned before, is just if you are feeling some discomfort or not feeling well, then take the time out to rest and look after yourself. And often things happen because if you get sick, or the body is just saying, I need to rest right now, and there's just different nuances depending on what you're experiencing. But and also really, like, almost because a lot of us are out in our heads, and we're not really sitting in our bodies, like really embodying ourselves. And so there's that, do what you can to get into your body. So maybe you go out into nature, or anything that helps you to disconnect from that mind activity, and to really just center yourself. And then that's when that's when our true beauty really does shine. And it's amazing, that's been my past as well, looking at myself and being critical. And it's amazing how many people I see that still do it now, and when I see so much beauty in them, and I just wish that they could see that their own beauty. And I'm sure that's something you experience as well. You can see all this beauty outside of yourself, but then you can look at yourself and go, oh, but this is not right. And it's just about changing that pattern. So it's been a bit of a long message, but I think it's a really important one, or message for you this week. So let's see what the tarot has to say for you as well. What's the message? That's too many. What's the message for group 2? Oops. Okay. Right, so you've got quite a few cards. So I'm going to read them as they are. Let me just shuffle them along. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, you've got the Knight of Cups, and Knight of Cups can mean a message of love, but it's also, for me, a forward movement of our emotions, of because before that we would have had the Page of Cups, and it's something, a new idea about our emotional state, or where we want to be, and now it's like this is moving forward. And so it's almost, the more loving that you can be to yourself, the more that you're going to receive this love from others. And we often seek love externally, and it's really hard, because that's something you've been taught, that you can only get love from outside of yourself. That's what you do, you try and seek it, and then when you realize that actually it's within you, it can be such a big shift, and something to get your head around, or adjust to that way of thinking. But it's really the message is very clear, like, really just focus on yourself and your own self-love, and everything else will flow. And so we've got also, like, not a decision to make, and not being able to make a decision. And then we've got the Queen of Pentacles that came out with it. It's almost, maybe perhaps you've got a decision about something in the material world, like a job, or where you move to, or something like that. And so what the message is saying is to take a leap of faith. We've got the Fool card, and the Fool card is really, you're at the beginning of a new cycle, and you can, you're safe to take a new path. And there's really a lot of new beginnings happening for everyone at the moment. So instead of just doing what we've always done, it's time to do something different, and that includes loving yourself. It is something different if you're not used to it. So take that leap of faith. And it's almost when you don't know what you need to do as well, like when you reach points in your life when you feel indecisive, or if you're in the week ahead you feel indecisive, it's saying take some time out to really reflect, because when you do that, then the light, the ideas will come to you about what you need to do. But it's when you're being quiet and still, that's when you can actually hear what the messages are for you and what your intuition or gut is trying to tell you, and you will be led that way. We often worry that we won't know what to do, and so we avoid things rather than just dealing with it. But when you go internally and really feel what's happening for you, then it really will just unfold. And then you've got the 8 of Wands, which is about things moving quickly. So when you take that time to really go internally, go within, then things will move forward for you. So it's just a confirmation of what I was saying, really. So, overall, really take time this week to honor yourself, honor your body, honor your own self-love. And also the message of the Pentacles is, remember that you are abundant as well. You don't need to worry about not having enough, because there's always more than enough for everybody. So take that leap of faith, do something different, and life will unfold perfectly for you. And you have to take that time to really go within, and the path will unfold for you. You don't need to know every single step of the way. Just allow it to come together for you step by step. So I hope that resonates with you, group 2. And I just want to pull a Starseeds card, because I just feel like this week it's a nice deck to come out. Oh, I think this one wants to come out. So observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. So yeah, it's an additional message just to take the time to really look at what's happening for you, and I'm reminded of the Hermit card, just to go within and just see what's happening for you, because the more that you can observe it, the more you have the power to change things. It's when we're not aware and we just keep doing the same thing and we distract ourselves, that life is the same, because we don't really want to do anything differently. But taking the time to observe will really benefit you. So thanks for watching the video, group 3. It's been really lovely reading for you, and I'll see you at another reading. Bye. Hi group 3, welcome to your reading. So let's see what the message for you for this week ahead is. So you've got stillness, which is from the Goddess Love cards, and it's quite clear, the message there is to be calm and quiet. And I'm also seeing 3, 4, which adds to 7, which is a spiritual number as well, about being going internally, etc. So yeah, I think it's a pretty clear message. And also the message that I'm getting as well is about, because I see these trees are being sourced from this lady's energy, and someone's saying, you are the source of all that you need and want, and you want to grow. Like, all of that creation comes from you, and it's to remember that as well. And also when we have this time of stillness and we can be calm and quiet, that's when we can create what it is that we want to create. And it comes from a higher place, almost like being connected with that spiritual realm, just because I see this with the stars and just sort of reaching out. And so find that place of stillness within, whether that's going out into nature, connecting, watching the birds, watching the sky, and whether you're in the northern hemisphere, because this is showing snow and you're starting to go into autumn, and feeling cozy, wanting to feel that coziness. And also, even if you are in warmer temperatures, that feeling of coziness, just because I see these birds kind of like all like really comfortable and just really cozy. So there's something about really nurturing yourself and allowing yourself to go into that state of peace and calm, and meditating. And this piece of jewelry goes over her third eye as well, and it's again just reaffirming that Oh, sorry, there seems to be a helicopter. If you can hear that noise. It's just reaffirming that when you connect to your stillness, that's when your messages come out. That's when you connect with your intuition. So that's really beautiful. Let's see what tarot cards have to say for you as well. So what's the message for group 3? Oops, a lot of cards for you. Let's shuffle again. What's the message for group 3? Okay, message for group 3. Interesting. Okay. Oh, you've got 3 major arcana cards coming out, so that's quite a big message for you, because the minor arcana cards just kind of talk about, you know, daily life, daily changes, but this is really about big changes coming into your life. And at the bottom of the deck we've got the Page of Pentacles, which is, it's really interesting because the Hangman came out in the channeled guidance this week, and so it's really about, well, we'll just stick with the Page of Pentacles to start with. It's a new beginning in the way that you know, something you're establishing new, something new in your world, so which is, you know, really, you know, interesting, exciting, and that's probably why you need to have this calmness and stillness, so that you can have that time to really bring it forth. And so just really take that time in, just being drawn to, just see, hopefully you can still see that, being drawn to the Hangman, and taking that time to really get still, because that's exactly you know what this Goddess Love card was talking about. When you take that time to be still, and with the Hangman, it often feels like nothing is changing, nothing is moving, but it is. There's a lot happening, and you can see that he's becoming enlightened. There's a light around his head. Like, just taking that time to really go inside is helping him to know more. And often that's what we don't get told in life, is that actually when we're still, instead of doing and being busy and distracting ourselves, when we're still, that's when we really get a lot of information. And you know, it's that quietness that helps us to know what to do next, where to go next. And so yeah, just really take that time to do that. And then you've got the Judgment card coming up, and I'm sure this came out in the channeled guidance as well. So if it did, I think it's a sign to really take a look at that this week. And yeah, I'll include it in the description box. But essentially, you know, there's 2 meanings for me. There's firstly the judgment that, you know, we feel from perhaps the universe, or, you know, when we do something, there's a what do you call it, repercussions for that. And so it's not necessarily a judgment as such. They can feel like it from, you know, the angel or whatever, but it's almost like that karma. When you do something, there's a, you know, there's a reaction that comes as a result of that, and it can feel like judgment, but really it's just because of the energy that you put into something. There'll be something that comes back to you. And so yeah, and the other message is about your own judgment about yourself, and to not be so hard on yourself, because yeah, it's really such an interesting time we're in at the moment. We're all learning and we're all growing, and it's really important to be kind to ourselves when we're going through these really big changes. Especially for you, these are really big changes, so you know, taking that time to allow the next steps to come to you. And you know, judgment being about, for me, you know, being loving to yourself instead of being judgmental. You know, those are big themes. Just trying to see what else is coming through from here. I think also there's something about receiving, just because when I'm looking at this card, I see them all holding out their hands, and it's being able to receive the gifts as well that come your way. And I've written about this before on my blog, about receiving can be a hard thing to do, but it's really our birthright to be in love and in joy. And so when things come our way, it's to receive it with that same openness and alignment with love, instead of pushing it away. And this can be when someone might be saying something kind to you or trying to help you, it's to receive that with love. So it's very interesting, and how all the cards kind of have their own unique messages in themselves, but then also in each reading they come through with their own messages. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is about fate, like things are happening as they're meant to happen and in right timing. And so because this is in the future position, it's just to know there's almost a feeling of being patient there, that things are unfolding as they're meant to, but they just need a bit of time for them to come through, for things to align, and not to lose sight of what it is, what your goal is, and to really take that time to go within. What is it that you want to create? Because it's something that I talk about quite a lot. We get told what we're meant to want in life, but it actually doesn't align with our true desires. And it's really important now that we do really connect with our true desires, because when we connect with our heart, then this is what we really want in life, rather than when we go into the headspace and start to think and contemplate. That's not always what we really want, because I feel when we really want something, it's in our heart already, and it will manifest. We just need to get out of the way, get out of our own way. So everything is unfolding as it's meant to, and just be reassured that just even though things might feel a bit quiet and nothing's moving, there's a lot happening for you. So just have trust and faith that it's all unfolding for you perfectly. That's a really lovely message. So I just want to pull some starseed cards out for you, to see what other message from the stars there are for you. Okay, so you got 2. So there we've got truth. See your light, know your power, have the courage to walk your truth. So there's something about being authentic and being true to yourself there. I'll just move the crystal. And then you've also got fruition. Rest assured, your dreams and vision will come to fruition. So I mean, that's just amazing confirmation that everything is working out as it's meant to. So you don't need to go into fear and go into worry and all those type of things that we're used to, but just it's essentially to trust that it's all unfolding for you. And all the things in life happen in their own special timing and way, because there's a reason for it. And if anything, it's really it's hard, because I am an impatient person by nature, but learning to trust has been really good exercise, and just to allow things to unfold, because they always do, and they're better than I could have imagined. I think the same message is for you, group 3, just to let it all unfold, but take the time to really get still and go within, so you can get clear about what it is that you really want, and then everything will start to move forward for you. So that's your reading, group 3. It's been so nice to read for you, and if you have any questions or anything, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you at another reading. Bye.